Where did you bring cattle and sheep to years ago?
We used to bring them into, did you know Lockheed Rafter of Ballindengan? You didn't, well you know Thomas Rafter up there. Well, in where Mace is in town there now, right? That was Lockheed Rafter's field, back years ago. And we used to always park the sheep there the night before the fair. You could bring in 25, Eddie could bring in 25, four of us could bring in 25, like, you know, a piece, would just say, like, you know. And you go in the next morning about 5 o'clock with a flash lamp. And if they weren't disturbed much that night, then 25 sheep would be sitting all together in different pockets, like, you know. And you weren't to make noise or anything like that. You'd be up your 25 and go on for the bridge then in the, where the railway bridge in the, down there.
Near the Slaney.
Near the Slaney, like, you know, yeah. Down the old barracks you used to call it that time, like, you know.
You laid them there for the night?
I laid them in that field for the night, walk them in this evening, and laid them there tonight, and pick them up in the morning about 5 o'clock. It's about 5 o'clock. That time we used to win with a pony car. I remember when my father got big with them, like. Sell the sheep then. If you could sell them, you would sell them. And then they were all shifted by rail that time to Waterford, Dublin and all that, like, you know. Back in that time, like, you know. And
what are you talking, the mid-50s, late 50s?
Oh, I was born in 40, 54,
yeah,
55, 54, 55 along there, right? Yeah. And you see, that time the buyers used to come to Enniscorthy on the train and bring a bike with them. And they go to the country then and buy the sheep, say he or you or whatever the case may be, like, you know. And they all go on then to town such a day, like, you know. Yeah, that'd be a different day, no, that wouldn't be a fair day, like, you know what I mean, you know? Yeah. You see, all the sheep that time were all, they're running one way, they were transported from in the country, from walk. I walked from Borris a few times, like, you know. I walked from Bunclody as often as I walked from Enniscorthy, like, you know. And we used to always come in through Tom Brack there, turn in at Meady there, right? More to Castledocker and that way. Now when you be coming from Borris.
That was with the sheep now.
Oh, that was with the sheep, yeah. But when you come from Borris, then we used to bring them as far as Bolger Kilteely. Leave them there overnight for a rest and go up again in the morning, you know. Yeah.
And you go back up to Pony and Trap, would you, in the morning?
Oh yeah. She'd know the way it's happening at the time, you know.
And drive them on up to Borris.
Huh?
Drive them up to Borris and then bring them up to the fair or the...
Oh no, bring them home, Borris. We never, when we got better off, then we bought a tractor, right? And I used to go to Borris with the tractor with sheep for the 15th of August, you know. Yeah.
And the 15th of August was the fair day in Borris.
That was the fair day in Borris. That was the big day. That was the day.
And what other days were there around? What, in Enniscorthy?
In Enniscorthy you had a fair every Tuesday.
No, Jim, every third Tuesday.
No, every Tuesday. Once a month.
Every third Tuesday.
Oh, fair day every month.
Yeah, on the third Tuesday of the month.
Third Tuesday of the month. And in November there was 2 fairs. There was 2 fairs in November, you know. Yeah.
Or were they fairs for stock, were they?
Oh, stop. You had the top of the hill here, in the Pig Market Hill they called it. Here in the top of the town, opposite Jordan, that was the Pig Market Hill, you know. That's where the pigs used to be sold. And I remember sheep being sold then down Irish Street. Up all pinned up along by the wall there, you know, right? Up where the picture house is. That's a New Street, we call it. New Street, you know.
Wexford Street.
And then the cattle then were all pinned down on the quay. And in around Kenny's Hollow there. The sheep then were on the bridge. And back down to, that time we used to call it Ma Wellens. That's down where...
Island Road.
Where Island Road is there, you know, right, yeah. And Charlie Byrne then had a yard there. And say when I buy the sheep off of you, you know, right? I'd be told then to put them below in Charlie Byrne's yard, you know, right? And that time when they'd buy them, they put a mark on with a rattle on the back of their head. See, that was the guarantee that they were sold, you know, yeah. That was the thing that time, you know, yeah. And that time, Fern's another place we used to drive from. See, there were drovers out that time as well, you know. Like, you know, drovers that had...
help you.
And if you were gone old, they'd drive the sheep home for you and...
You'd pay them.
and paid me, right? I remember then, there was a lad in town, a lad named Sucks in it. And Mickey Kenny was here, God be good to him, all they're all didn't know anyhow. But Mickey Kenny and myself were coming home this night anyhow, right? And you see, Sinnott was clever enough, you see. When you lay out your pins of sheep in fairness, he'd lay out his behind you, right? And then he'd have no driving to do at all. Because his sheep would follow you on hours, clever alley he did, So Mickey this night anyhow, was getting dusky dark and we get near Scar Welsh. Mickey says, he opened the gate, you see.
And let him into the
And
field.
let the man sheep into, well, the fuck's your man, you go to hear me down, you know what I mean, He's lousy so-and-so, like, But anyhow, yeah, that was the term that time, But your all sheep were driven that time, And they were used to it. And it's not like now. Every gate in the country was closed that time, any place there was a gate hanging. And every place any gate there's a gate hanging, it was opened. Yeah, I mean, that's the difference, right? But then sheep are used to walking that time, you'd have a good dog with you, like, right? And they never mind walking. You'd never have sheep with sore feet that time. Got to walk and hold them,
So, geez, you drive to Boris and you'd leave them overnight in Kilhealy.
Yeah.
And carry on the next day then.
That's right.
And likewise to Ferns.
Oh yeah, you go to Ferns and my father buy there the sales.
Totally.
There was always sheep sales in Ferns if there was a fair in it. No, there was no problem coming from Ferns. Ferns only 5 or 6 miles, sure. But thought he was only the same.
Yeah. And you mentioned, do you ever hear like a jobber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jobbers are always there, right? Yeah.
Buyers there were.
Yeah.
To job to job on the...
Hackle and
Oh, heck,
Yeah.
they make bargains, like,
And would they be local lads, would they?
No, they'd be with some of the buyers, like, They'd be with some of the buyers, like, Yeah. Yes, be with
buyers
some of
came
the-
from where? Waterford and Dublin.
Waterford and Dublin and everywhere. You get them everywhere. Cork and everywhere,
That far from Cork.
Oh yeah.
Sure, the railway would have brought them down to Waterford, not to Cork.
Oh yeah.
Put 'em on, loaded them
They're all
into-
that time. They're all shifted by rail that time, like, right? What happened? You'd sell your sheep by hand, or you sell your cattle by hand in Enniscorthy. You know what I mean? We weren't talking about weighing, like, And sometimes then when they come out the country, out to say buy off the farm, you bring them into a weighing part in town. You sell them maybe £2.76 a hundredweight, like, you know what I mean? And then you bring them into town and weigh them. You walk them to town first, and then you weigh them in the weigh bridge in Enniscorthy, That's the way they were done sometimes, like,
Was there little pig weighing scales here in Marshalstown?
No.
There was one in Ballinaggan
I knew it.
and one in Ballygarth, right?
Yeah, and a few big scales in a few places, like, yeah.
And were they put there so people wouldn't get cutted, they could weigh their pigs before
I'd
they
say that's what they were for, like, you know what I mean,
I think there was one in KMG. I think when I was at home that there was a weighing scales up in KM at
What do you
Records.
mean?
Yeah, there was.
No, that was a weighing scales for cattle. Sure, you haven't bought cattle on it. Oh, that was a weighing scales for
For
cattle and
cattle?
pigs. Cattle and pigs.
Cattle and pigs.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that'd be left there for the public. For
I think
public
the-
Oh, yeah, you pay so much.
Did the council build them weighing scales? I think they did.
Should have been down dip tubs at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Was there a dip tub up there?
there's a dip tub there.
There
yeah.
were very little weighing scales out the country now, like me, There'd be ones in towns like the Ferns and Enniscorthy and Bolger and things like that, like, Be very little weighing scales, like,
There's none in Marshalstown, no.
No. The co-op with the weighing scales in Enniscorthy, like, that time, like,
And did you keep cattle as well?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what was the story with them? You can drive them would you drive them that kind of distance?
Now?
No, years ago when you were a chap.
Oh, yeah. I walked from Timon twice, myself and Jack, we go to them, right? Yeah, with cattle, like, I just some walk, like, And then another thing then, my father got no money. Because the cattle down there, you buy them and you buy them by weight, right? And Timon then was a real grass area. The way like lead coming out of it. You'd have them at home maybe for 2 months, it wouldn't be fucking heavy, like, He said it was only a fuck of a spot, like,
Oh, we putting courses on it.
But anyhow,
No, machine.
the arm of this, like,
Won't refuse.
we only went a few times down there, like, But mostly Enniscorthy, Bunthordy, Ferns, Burris, Blackwater a few times, like,
And you never went to Ballygarrett.
To where? No.
What the fuck would you go to Ballygarth for?
Well, they got some prizes the other night down at the Environmental Awards.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, Ballygarrett and the other place.
Cambridge.
No, not Kilmacreech, Where else is there down there? Ballycanoe,
Oh yeah,
cleaned up.
yeah. They're good at the tidy towns are good there and working out there and
Oh,
that thing. Yeah.
brilliant, isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're
Lovely,
really good.
lovely ideas.
Yeah. Come here to me as well. I suppose, like even going down to Timon, would you come back? Would you drive them back home then if you didn't sell them? I suppose you would.
I know we did never brought to sell him in.
Yeah,
Only
but-
went down to buy. We never brought him down to sell him in the day, you know. Used to go down to buy him to put him in over the winter to stall feed him over the winter day, you know. See, all cattle that time were tied by the neck with chains, like, you know.
In the winter.
In the winter time, you know.
And fed.
Socks and the hair like in front of them and you clean out behind them, like, you know.
Speaking of stuff, do you ever come, with sheep not having sore feet, do you ever come across the cattle with the fowls?
No, I did, yeah.
Do you ever come across a cure for the fowls? Granny had one at home.
What we do with this, it'll depend how bad it is, like, you know. Give me an injection penicillin.
Nowadays, but years ago.
Oh, years ago.
What
they
was
used to
that?
put-
Your dad used to get blue stone.
You
What
used to
was
get
that
blue
stuff?
stone and put a sack in it and put it into it, make a sort of a porridge over it, like, you know, make a sort of a
Poultice.
poultice, like, you know. And
Tie
yeah,
it around.
a haired sack then and put a foot down in it and tie it then, like, you know. But sure, sometimes they kick it off and then they fucking eat it, you know, you know, there, you know.
Do you ever come across them with Granny at home with the one where they'd find where the cow had walked on and they'd dig a little sod out and mark the sign with a cross on it? Do you ever come across that?
No,
Do you know
no.
about picture roads, you know?
Didn't know I did that shit.
Were you into the tram water though? Did you see the friars?
Oh,
come?
yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
We had them.
The only thing that I did believe in was, and you know, there was cures for this and cures for that and other thing, you know. But Willie Oakes down here of Asquinchon, that had be the old man now. These chaps' father, they're down there in all that. But that time, the Mary get the Pharisee. You ever hear tell of it? She get a swelling all under the chest, like, you know. And you be sent down as a chap that time, and you could never see him doing nothing. Or you looking in and bless himself and saying some sort of a prayer. And the next day, the Mary will be okay. Yeah. That was the only thing that I did believe in, like, you know, right? You know, there were several pictures about this. That,
And that man was a Protestant man.
He was a Protestant man, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. People used to come from all over him. And I remember Neil the bone setter. You ever tell him he did?
Yeah.
An old cow at Clonjordan up here. Fusser cow, they used to call him. He went with a pony one day to Buntori. And he brought the old trap, like, you know. That's used to call it, not the trap, they used to call it the go car. What, not the go car, what's it called?
Common car, no?
No, not the common car, the one, remember the one you see up sideways on it. But anyhow,
Sidecar, not it?
sidecar, something like that. But anyhow, he went with his pony anyhow the whole way to Buntori from Clonjordan up here. And Neil the bone setter then that time, he used to cure people, maybe if your ankle was out or this, that and other, you know.
Cured humans and that.
You were humans and everything. But then he'd get a good few jars, you see, right? From the people that had be after going into it, you know. And then he'd do the animals then after it, you know. So I came out anyhow and think poor old Joe was first with the pony.
The shoulder was out.
Neil came over anyhow and he cut the pony and he gave him a few shots back and fired anyhow and he says to him, his shoulder's out. And he got says, kill Mr. Neil, kill to Mr. Neil, he says, and Mr. Neil is not lame in that leg at all, he says, it's the other one he's lame in. Like, you know. So he got the other one anyhow. And he gave it a few shots as well and he put in that one.
The two of them were
So
out.
Kyo anyhow got a few jars, well that's only a fucking bollocks anyhow, he says, see, a pony to go the whole way from Clonjordan to Buntori with his two shoulders out, so that couldn't happen anyhow, he said. So he said he wasn't going to him anymore anyhow, you know. Oh Jesus, that day, you know. There was yarns that time, you know. Right?